Nikki's plan is to completely replace Jocelyn with Diane. Because as soon as Jocelyn is done with the set, Nikki literally has Diane go to the studio and record World Class Sinner. So that way Nikki can use Diane as singer instead of Jocelyn. Which I think is such a fucking shady ass thing to do. Hey yo, what's cracking like with my community today? My name is Londyn and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, what's poppin'? So you see the title thumbnail. Today I'm reacting to episode 2 of The Idol. The scene starts off with Nikki walking into Jocelyn's house. She's walking to the backyard and Jocelyn had called everyone to a meeting. She did a revamped version of World Class Sinner and it just sounds horrible. It's just like a bunch of moaning and like just the most disgusting thing you could ever think of. So as soon as Nikki hears the song, she's like, yeah, no, this is not happening. Like, this is the worst version of it ever. You are not changing the sound we just made. We're literally filming the music video tomorrow. The song's already processed and ready to go. We're not changing it, and like she's really like talking down on Jocelyn, like, no, we're not changing it, no, this is not happening. Honestly, this is the only part of the entire series so far that I agree with Nikki, because like the song is absolutely horrible. And Jocelyn's like, oh, okay, I'll just release it myself. And they're like, no. I'm like, I hope she don't leak her own remake of the song. And then Nikki was like, oh, so you think you have a bigger dick than me now, huh? Let's talk about how we got here. And then Nikki goes on to say that when Jocelyn's mother got sick, they were considering canceling the tour, but then she was like, no, I could do it. And then hours later, she went crazy. Nikki just being completely harsh to Jocelyn, and then eventually her big answer was like, nah. Jocelyn's real upset, so she walks away. She's like, yeah, thanks for nothing. And throughout the beginning of this episode, Jocelyn is trying to call Tedros and he's just not answering his phone. She should have took that as a sign of like, okay, Tedros not fucking with me. But nah, like she's trying to call Tedros over and over again. He's not answering his phone. So after Jocelyn walks away all angry, she walks to her room and she's laying in bed all upset. And then Haim comes over. Jocelyn goes to say, this is a lot harder than I thought without her. He said, yeah, it was hard for me to lose my mother too, and she was nice to me. And he was just reminding her that he believes in her. And then it cuts to the next scene where she's literally editing the new version of World Class Sinner. And while she's editing this song, she's got a cup of ice in her hand and she puts the ice in between her legs and she's just giving herself pleasure with the ice cold glass of ice. Jocelyn gets interrupted and Tedros finally calls back. Jocelyn answers the phone and Tedros is like, why'd you play them the song? You know it's not done, right? And while he's on the phone with her, there's just some random girl braiding his rat tail, which is like, ugh. Like that rat tail is literally the emphasis of his character. So Jocelyn asks Tedros like what he's doing. He lies and says he's at the club and that he's alone when really he's somewhere else and there's a bunch of people there. Leia's chocolate blonde boy toy is on the phone with her at the same time. Jocelyn's on the phone with Tedros and they're just having a conversation about where Leia's from. And Jocelyn's asking him if he can come over, but he said he can't for a couple days. And she says that she has a music video and she'll meet him after the music video. And while they're having a conversation, she's got an ice cube and she's literally just playing with the ice cube while talking to him, which is like, girl, get a grip. Girl, get a grip. Please get a grip. Please. So in this, there's a scene where like she's got a hairbrush and she's literally brushing her hair like extremely aggressively, and I'm like, that's basically like foreshadowing of what they're gonna mention in episode 3. Next scene moves on and she's getting ready for her music video, and they said it took 3 hours for her to get ready in makeup because they had to airbrush a bunch of cuts on her thighs. So she's doing her dance routine, trying to do it over and over and over again, and she doubts herself and she keeps stopping and she keeps having people stop and do it over and over and over again because she kept feeling like, oh, that take wasn't good. Oh, like I see you do it again. I'm not getting it together. While Jocelyn is struggling, Diane asks if Jocelyn's okay, and then Nikki notices, who's that dancer talking to Josh? And then she's like, that's Diane. And Nikki is looking very close at Diane. You'll see why. I mean, if you've seen the episode already, you know why, but if you haven't seen the episode, then you'll hear why. And Jocelyn's doing so bad they had to like go back and fix her makeup because she was crying. Jocelyn was saying like, is there any way we can like, you know, tweak some things about the set and then pick it up tomorrow. And Haim is like, no, it's not a good idea. Like, people already think that you're a failure. People already don't believe in you. Jocelyn starts tearing up more, and it's just a whole mess. By the way, about the cuts on her legs, apparently she said that glass broke on her thighs, which means when she was doing that thing with the glass and the ice, she probably squeezed her thighs so much it broke. And then the scene switches to Diane singing for Nikki, and Nikki's plan is to completely replace Jocelyn with Diane. Because as soon as Jocelyn is done with the set, Nikki literally has Diane go to the studio and record World Class Sinner, so that way Nikki can use Diane as singer instead of Jocelyn, which I think is such a fucking shady ass thing to do. This time, like, everyone starts over and Jocelyn nails it this time, but the camera was out of focus and they couldn't fix it. Jocelyn was completely defeated after that. So after the camera goes completely out of focus, this is when her feet start to do the bleeding thing, and she's literally got band-aids all over her feet, and she's got like rashes like in between her thighs. Oh my goodness, I feel so bad. Like, the cuts are there, like visible in between her thighs, and her feet are bleeding. Like, oh my goodness. Oh, this scene. Okay, so it goes to the next scene where Tedros is sitting down. He's got a remote, and chocolate blonde haired dude is like grinding the air while Tedros is using the shot collar. Tedros got golden chocolate grinding the air while he's got a shot collar. He just keeps shocking him. He's like, grind, fucking grind. He's like literally cussing him out to grind the air while he's shocking him with a fucking shot collar. This scene is so disturbing. Like, all these disturbing ass scenes 9 times out of 10 involve Tedros, and I'm like genuinely nervous because of that. And Tedros is like, make them believe you want to fuck them. You're not human, Isaac. Don't forget, you're a fucking star. Tedros on some weird shit. So as soon as Jocelyn fixes her feet, she gets up and they're trying to fix her makeup and stuff, and that's when she's like, Mom? Haim is the one that asked her, did you just call for your mom? She's like, no, my mom died last year. So Destiny goes up to Jocelyn, and Jocelyn's like crying. Jocelyn was saying that like she's never done any kind of like music video thing before without her mom, and Destiny's a good ass character. Like, she's talking Jocelyn through, she's hugging her, like she's talking her down. She's a respected ass character. Nikki goes up to Jocelyn, and Jocelyn's still hysterical, and Nikki's like, listen, I don't think you're okay. Jocelyn's like, no, I'm totally fine. She's like, no, I think you need to go home and get some sleep. And then Jocelyn's like, you promise we'll go tomorrow? Nikki's like, we'll go tomorrow. And then this is when Nikki brings Diane in, and Diane records World Class Sinner, and she does a music video in the same day. So Haim and Jocelyn are talking in the next scene, and Haim goes and says, listen, I'm not gonna pay for half the mortgage anymore. You have to start listening. He's like, I know you don't like the song. This song is commercial. Like, we need to go through this song. You're barely hanging on by a thread. You're practically broke. He's like, I know you don't like the song, but you're not giving me any alternatives, da 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 da. Next scene goes, and Jocelyn calls Tedros on the phone, and she's like, hey, what you doing? He's like, hanging out with a couple friends. And Jocelyn invites him over, and while he's on the phone with her, Diane's there, like, listening to the conversation. He hangs up, slams his fucking phone like this, like hella hard. I'm like, why you gotta slam your phone like that? And then Diane's like, so is she a better fuck than me? And then Tedros is like, nah, you can never be a better fuck than you, da 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 da. Diane is a dirty bitch. She really betraying Jocelyn. Ain't no way she just completely take her spot. And Diane is the one that took her to the club that Tedros owns. Maybe ooh, that's another theory that oh my gosh. I think that Diane's the one that leaked that picture. She was at the house that day when the picture got leaked. They were there at dance practice. Either Diane or still Leia. I feel like it could have been either. I mean, I'm not even sure if it's Leia anymore, because Leia is actually like a good friend. Like, she's actually got Jocelyn's back. And then Diane mentions to Tedros that she got signed by Nikki. He said, oh, you got signed, so that means you can give me that return that you owe me. Which means she owe him money or some shit. Next scene shows, and Tedros and all his friends come to Jocelyn's house, and there's literally a girl that just goes in her pool and skinny dips. Golden Chocolate asks Leia to dance, and girl who was skinny dipping comes out the pool, and she sits on the piano and starts playing piano music. Tedros and Jocelyn are, you know, taking shots and shit. Tedros is like, hey Leia, you ever done cocaine? And she's like, not really. And he literally gaslights Leia into doing cocaine, and I'm like, bruh. At this point, he's not even hiding the fact he do cocaine, bruh. And then Golden Chocolate takes Leia to her room, and they fuck. Like, they literally show like him hitting from the back, watching nigga bless you. That's what I said. That's what he doing. Jocelyn and Tedros are drinking, and she goes, cheers to the end of my career. He's like, I'm not drinking to that. He's like, what happened? And then she mentions that she was at the studio and she couldn't stop crying and they had to end the day. He's like, are you okay? She's like, yeah, I'm totally fine. Like, her always being in denial talking about she's fine. You're not fine, girl. It's okay not to be fine, girl. So Golden Chocolate is talking to Leia, because Leia asked him, how did you know Tedros? And then he mentions that he's his manager and that he produces his music and that Tedros completely changed his life. Alright, so this is the part of the episode where I was traumatized. I was like, oh, this is the show we on right now. So if I mention both Jocelyn and Tedros, I'm gonna call him Tosslin. So while Tosslin is making out, Jocelyn's like, I want you to get that rope and tie it around my neck and he goes to her closet and the girl that was naked earlier is literally in there watching, and she hands Tedros the rope from the robe that was in the last episode, and he blindfolds her and she's stripping for him, right? Bent down, you know, showing her ass, showing her titties, and like Tedros is saying like some really dirty stuff, like I'm talking like smut, like when you're 12 years old and you write your first smut fan fiction. Like he is literally talking to her like, I want you to he's like, oh, like some erotic ass shit, like, and he's just staring at her from across the room, like emotionless, saying these things, and I'm like, dude, like this is like some shit he would say in lyrics. It's one thing if he's singing the lyrics, but it's another thing he's like talking the lyrics. He's literally talking some dirty shit. Mind you, the girl who was skinny dipping is still in the closet, like she's literally enjoying what he's saying. He's saying, you gonna make me act a fool. Like, oh my god. Like, she's literally like blindfolded, like on the bed, spreading her legs open and rubbing herself. This is like some shit that would be on the hub. Like, this does not need to be on HBO. He's like, emotionless face. Like, that's what really gets me. Like, he's saying all this and he's like, I want you to. And this is when she's like giving him a blowjob and there's like noises, like, oh, like, not me recreating the noises, stop it, like genuine noises, bruh. And he's like moaning. Like, this show had me all the way fucked up. I'm like, dude, it's never that serious for you to be like genuinely making noises like that. After they done, Jocelyn smoking another cigarette. Like, you already know Jocelyn be smoking them cigarettes. Jocelyn's like, yeah, I want to work on some more music with you, blah blah blah. Tedros goes on to say, well, maybe it'd be easier if I moved in with you, you know, for work purposes. And then Jocelyn was like, I'd like that. Basically, this guy's gonna move in for a couple weeks. Manipulative ass got himself to move in. The last scene is the girl who is skinny dipping, playing piano, and Golden Chocolate. They're singing a song, and Jocelyn comes in. She's literally singing along. Bars! And the episode literally ends, and that's it. That is it for today's video. Okay, thank y'all for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed it. If you did, make sure a big thumbs up, subscribe for more. Also, turn on my post notifications. That way you get notified when I upload twice a week, boo. I also have social medias that will be linked down below. Okay? Okay. I love y'all so much. You don't even know. And I'll see y'all next motherfucking video, okay? Peace.